Everybody get up.
Welcome to Body Shop TV. My name is Chella.
And I am the Body Mechanic NYC.
How you living today, Body Mechanic?
Well, I'm feeling good.
Oh, your energy level's quite different today.
Try it, Chella.
What's going on, Body Mechanic? You can talk to Chella.
Nothing's going on.
Yes, your energy level's quite different.
No, the Body Mechanic had to recover from being Jägermeistered last night. Because
that was so much fun.
Dr. Ford and Chella hoodwinked the Body Mechanic.
Oh,
and made
stop!
So now I am recovering.
You know what?
You know what? As a matter of fact,
I got your number.
I almost checked into AA this morning.
You know
I
what?
can't lie. We almost have a show.
You are a different person in public and when we are with other people. You are two different body mechanics.
I am a different person every single second.
I'll say.
That's what we are, many different things. We are never the same thing all the time.
You know what we call that where I come from?
I don't care where that is.
Mucho garas.
Garas?
Mucho garas. Yes,
what?
Yes.
That's not even a word.
Yes, it is. I'm not making up.
You know what?
It means many faces.
You just make stuff up because I don't speak Spanish. And no matter what you say, it could be I'll be like, okay, that sounds good to me.
You're funny, buddy.
No, I'm recovering from freaking Jägermeister.
How come I'm not affected?
Because Nita.
You're going to put her on blast on,
I sure am,
on international television?
Me that Jägermeister is herbs.
Oh, no, it's all good.
And
no,
spices.
It really is awesome.
But all I know is this. After the first sip, I was like this.
Oh, my God.
I was like, sauce on my
I felt like I drank a whole bottle. I only had a little tiny bit. OMG, I felt so wasted.
So don't tell me about my personality.
That's I was laughing
when you and mood swings.
Who has mood swings?
I read on the AA hotline this morning. It said just before I was about to
you
call
do have a mood swing.
No, I don't. I'm just thinking about upcoming events.
Yes, like Monday. Yes. Monday, our touch sensorium.
Is Monday Father's Day?
No, that's tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow's. Oh,
let me be the first to wish you happy Father's Day.
I don't have a calendar.
Can I be the first to wish you happy Father's Day, Body Mechanic?
You're fresh. Wait a minute.
What am I fresh?
I'm looking, and behind you is a statue of a naked woman with her breast out. What is going on?
And no head.
Where am I?
Where's her head? Oh, she's leaning back. Ooh.
She don't need one.
She's leaning back.
I'm confused.
Listen.
What?
Happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you, Chella.
You're welcome.
Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I
Chella
did it all.
means all.
Yes, it does. ALL.
English.
So listen, let's talk about Monday. Monday is our monthly touch sensorium.
Oh, here I go. I have to work again.
Yes, you do. We're going to have it at the Awesome Heels Center School of One, 203 East Pulaski Road in Huntington Station. Come 7 o'clock, get free massages from the Body Mechanic. You got to wait online because all the women want him to touch them.
Chella is always pimping me out. I'm just shy, that's all.
Free veggie juicing and other wellness modalities. Dr. Ford's going to come with his magical ceramic disc, his biocentonin. And
Biocentonin?
Biocentonin.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes.
And we have vendors. Vendors are welcome to come. $30. Show off your wares. Come and hang out with the Body Mechanic and Chella this Monday, which is June 16th from 7 to 10 p.m. Look us up on our website, bodyshopenterprises.com.
Yes, Body Shop Enterprises.
Yes. How was your week, Body Mechanic?
My week was awesome.
Why?
Just was. Every day is awesome.
Was it awesome because of CR?
Because of CR?
Yes.
What do you mean?
CR.
Oh, stop!
Was it?
Chella, stop it. No, why? Why would it be awesome because of that?
Because it's something new and exciting.
No, I had tango on Tuesday.
How was that?
I had acting on Thursday.
Oh, how you doing acting classes?
I had new clients. Oh my God, I had this really interesting new client. Maybe I'll talk about her later.
Okay. All right.
She brought tantric tango to New York. I don't even know.
Single-handedly.
I don't even know what tantric is till I met Chella.
Anyway, we have a very special show today. We have a special Father's Day show, Body Mechanic.
Yes.
And
how many fathers are we having today?
Who knows? One's stuck in traffic. One is here. Yeah. You're here. And the lines are open. Anybody wants to call in, and maybe you want to share your special story about being a father, maybe some challenges that you've overcome, or anything you want to share. Give us a call. The number's on the bottom of the screen. But I'm excited because we did this similar thing for Mother's Day, and that was awesome. Action-packed. Every woman on the couch had a special story to share. Quite moving, and I'm looking forward to today's show. And I want to wish my papi a happy Father's Day. He's awesome. You know, my father doesn't talk much because, he's got that strong Latino accent. But when he talks, it's like E.F. Hutton. Everybody listens. So I got to tell you, Body Mechanic, I went to college for like 6 months after high school, and I hated it. I hated it. So one day, I was watching TV with my father, and a commercial came on. Be all you can be. Join the Army. So Papi said to me, why don't you try that, Chela? So I said, you know what? I think I will. So I joined the Army. I got to tell you, it changed my whole life. It allowed me to do government interdiction work, and I traveled the world. It was like the best years of my life until I met the Body Mechanic, of course. But it was
I
awesome.
went along the same route. I joined the military too, but I wasn't sitting with my poppy. I just said,
But he inspired me.
I
He
saw
encouraged
travel
me.
in the Navy, and I said, you know what? Why not?
Traveling, I think every child should go to the military for 1 year after high school.
You know what? I used to say that.
Well, not now. Back then, it's a different
animal
right,
now.
it is. Back then, we were in during party time. But now it's like, it's
No, you sign up now. Next thing you know,
do or
the
die.
fast track to
Yep.
the desert with a gun and
Yeah, it's a whole
some
different
rations
world.
and some genetically modified food.
But
some
I learned,
bee pollen, some honey, and we'll see you when you get back broken. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go in like that.
well, not everybody
it is
comes
the
back
truth.
broken.
No, but most do.
But a lot come back messed up.
They
And
sure do.
I support my veterans. I love my veterans. My hat goes off to them because they see different things that I've seen. But I love the military. It taught me discipline. It taught me how to be organized, attentive to detail.
Because you had no discipline before that.
This is true. This is true. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
You had no discipline before that.
I didn't, but I do now. Since the Army.
What is discipline?
I think it's when you are able to follow instruction, you're attentive,
What you didn't do before that.
you're able to follow. I was a good kid.
That's my point. That's the thing.
I
the
was.
military just was an opportunity to leave where you were and to taste the world.
Who asked me? Oh, I think it was my daughter. Just asked me the other day, how was it leaving, going overseas, for the first time? I was like 18 years old. And I said, you know what? I was so anxious to get out of Long Island that it didn't bother me. I was looking forward to the journey. I was just so excited to go to the other side that I didn't worry about, yeah, I was going to miss my family, but, we have communication. I got over that real quick.
I mean, everyone has a different experience, but I just have always been hungry for new adventure. And I remember, because I signed up for submarines, and I remember leaving Connecticut and going underwater and coming up, and we were in England. I was like,
Wow.
that's pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
And then I remember leaving Connecticut and coming out of water, and we were in Italy. I'm like, hot damn, this is like beam me up Scotty. Jesus Christ. So
Italy, that's cool.
Out of the military, that was the biggest thing I got. I mean, everyone has discipline. The military doesn't, I don't think that it necessarily teaches discipline. What it does, it gives you instruction.
I believe it does.
Right, well,
I believe it does.
when you take someone out of their normal environment and all they have is, that particular ship, or everyone has to play the game. And that's really what it is. It's understanding the game. And, but everything that happened there happens on the outside, just a little bit more intensified because you're up close and personal with everybody. You can't hide. And I think that the interpersonal relationships and being able to have these different situations, it does prepare you for the journey outside. But when I went in, we had college. Did you go to college before that?
Yeah.
You just went to...
I went to college.
So when I went in, I already had developed some thoughts about the universe and people. So it was I mean, it's different for different people. And you did different things when you went in. What branch did you go in?
Army.
Yeah, when I went and actually did my ASVAB, I did research on the militaries, and I would only join the Air Force or the Navy. The schooling was actually better in those two, so that's why I chose the Navy. And then when they had an option, when I did my score was high, so I had an option of like nuclear power or electronics. I had those choices, and I joined the submarine force.
Mm-hmm.
So it was schooling was quite intense. I spent 2 or 3 years in school.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was.
So, Buddy McKenna, getting back to Father's Day.
Yes.
I want to wish your father, Mr. Leary, happy Father's Day.
Yes, Dad. Happy Father's Day.
Tell me
to
what kind.
you.
Tell me what kind of father he
My
is.
father's awesome. He's quiet, doesn't speak much, but knows everything.
That's how
He's
my
like
father
a walking
is.
encyclopedia. I always say, if you want to learn about a place, you stand in the corner and you watch.
Yeah,
You see
observe.
everything. The person that's moving through things, and you miss a lot.
Yeah.
You miss a lot because you're moving out of the way of things. But just remember, when you stand still, everything has to pass you. And just sit back and observe. And I learned so many life skills from my father. And even though, when I was growing up, he was busy, the times that I did spend with him were, definitely life-changing. I mean, we are our parents.
Yeah.
In different degrees because they're the ones that we're closest to when we're young. That's when we're developing, and we pick up all of their skills. So I'm definitely a blend of both of them. My mother's very funny. It's funny, as I got older, I realized how funny my father was. And it's, I spent a lot of time with my parents. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. So I had a very, diverse childhood growing up.
That's cool. I was talking to the kids that I work with after school program.
Yeah.
We were talking about fathers the other day, and I was sharing with them that, I'm going to have a coughing attack. I was sharing with them that my father quit school when he was in 5th grade because he had to take care of the family. I'm going to cough. Excuse me.
Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah, when I was growing up as a child, both of my parents worked, and I was a very gregarious child. I was pretty much into everything, and I was curious about everything. I played lots of sports when I was growing up, and actually my dad was a coach for the baseball team I was a part of. And so sports was very active in my life. I never really saw my dad play sports, but he did play sports when he was growing up. And but I remember all those times traveling with him, going with him to work. And let me tell you what's amazing. A lot of people don't give children a lot of credit, but children do not miss anything. They pick up on everything. They may not be able to speak the language. But let me tell you something, folks. They remember everything. I remember things when I was 4 and 5 years old, 3 years old. So let me tell you something. I think that a lot of parents think that children learn from what they say, but it's more of what you do. Kids understand action. Action will always speak louder than words. As a matter of fact, when you're around someone long enough, they just start babbling after a while. They always watch what you do. So, and I hear a lot of parents say that. They say, don't do as I do, just because I smoke and drink, just don't do it. I'm telling you, your child's like, well, if it works for you, hey, it probably works for me.
It's too late. They already see.
Right, because as soon as they're out of your presence, they're trying what you do because they're impressed with you. You're their parent. You're the world to them.
That's
so
right.
what you're doing must be right. Actions speak louder than any word that will ever come out of your mouth.
That's right. So what I was saying before, my father had to quit school when he was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
To help take care of the family. I think.
Did he cough a lot? I'm just joking.
Yeah, because he smoked when he was mad young.
He was mad when he was young?
No, he was mad young.
Oh, mad young. It's like OMG.
Okay.
OMG! I just noticed that! Hold on a second. It's got like a breast torque. Here we go.
Okay.
I noticed that the G was pointing to your right breast.
All right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Somebody point to
Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware.
We have 3 of the largest showrooms of safes on display and in stock. You can see and touch them in person instead of browsing a catalog. We carry gun and rifle safes, burglary safes, jewelry safes, fire rated from a half hour to 2 hour. Famous name brands.
We sell Gardol.
We sell AMSAC.
The new AMSAC touchscreen.
If you're ever in need of a safe, think Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware. Right, Lockie?
That's right, Alan.
Being a fireman is more than just putting out blazes and giving kittens CPR. Sometimes my duty demands I fan the flames, like when a call comes in from a lady who needs immediate assistance. Maybe she needs help with a computer thing. Maybe she wants to go antique. Could be as simple as understanding that walking in heels it's hard. Aussi simple que l'été dernier à Paris. C'est sympa. Maybe it's ladies' night in, and she wants a simple, delicious recipe for margaritas with a twist. First, a can of limeade. Now hold on to this. You'll be using it. Side note, kittens make everything better. Next, add water. Now, a bottle of light beer. No, shh. Trust me, I'm a professional. And last, and most important, Sauza Blue Tequila. Now, mix it up. Ole. Yes, that's what I'm trained for. Whether it's to help her choose leggings or pants, telling her leggings are pants, or discussing leggings and jeggings versus pant pegging at her next ladies' night in, I'll come to the rescue. Don't call me a hero. Just call me. Let me know what time.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn? Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure. You'll be happy you did.
Welcome back to Body Shop TV. Well, I had a horrible coughing attack, body
I
mechanic.
don't know. You got something crawling in your throat. That Jägermeister didn't knock it out.
I know.
You drank enough last night.
I need more. So I want to finish my story about Papi.
Yeah.
So anyway,
so when you were sitting with him, he said join the
No,
Navy,
after-
and a week
no.
later he was in the Navy. I mean the
Army. No, I'm not talking about that. He had to quit school when he was in 5th grade because he had to help take care of the family. He had 11 siblings. So he taught himself how to be a carpenter. And when he became an adult later on, he had his own company. He built a number of houses where I was raised in North Babylon, him and his
You
brothers.
showed me some of those houses.
Yeah, and he's just a genius. He can look at something, he's real quiet, he'll figure it out, he'll make it, or he'll fix it. My dad's a genius. I love my papi. So anyway, I'm very excited to have three dads with us. And one I've known for many, many, many years. And one day I went to his home to pick up something. We were working on some kind of project. And I met his wife and his children. And he shared with me that he and his wife had adopted a handicapped child. And I was very touched by that because I don't hear many people who do that deliberately, bringing a handicapped child into the home, because that's extra time, extra effort, extra attention. And I just am so impressed, and my hat goes off to Ed Roldan for doing that. Ed, welcome to Body Shop TV.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here, and I thank you for inviting me here, both of you. Thank you.
And we also have Derek Phillips with us. Derek, welcome to Body Shop TV.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me here.
Oh, absolutely. So, Ed, why don't you give me some background about, who you are, Mr. Roldan, and what you have your hands on. And he's got a Latino boat ride coming up pretty soon, right?
What?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
I
Is that your life preserver?
No,
Yes, no.
I
I
got
thought salsa and life preserver go hand in hand.
I'll
What?
take care
No?
of you, body mechanic.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
first,
I will.
I'd like to say that I'm a retired policeman from New York City.
Are you?
I knew it.
I didn't know
You
that.
walked in like this. I was
Really?
like, you all right?
And I went back to school. As you know, I went to Suffolk County Community College, and then I went to Adelphi, and I got my bachelor's and master's in social work. I worked as a psychotherapist for a short while, and it wasn't me. I was more into community organizing. I think that was me. I actually work now at Suffolk Community College, very proud of that, as a bilingual admissions counselor. So it was a position created. It's a brand new position, and I was lucky enough to get accepted. Now, you talked about handicapped children. I do have I have a 28-year-old biological son that's handicapped, and we used to be foster parents, and we got a call once from the city, and they said, we have an infant. Good news, maybe you don't think it's that bad, but he's got Down syndrome. He was in the hospital. He was 4 weeks old. Special delivery right to the house. We got him that evening. So it's challenging, but I have to give credit where credit is due, because my wife is the main provider, caregiver. I get to escape through work, through community organizing, and she has dedicated her life to taking care of him.
That's
Them.
awesome.
So I also have a 34-year-old son who's adopted, and I have a 30-year-old daughter that's a teacher in New York City.
Wow.
Her name is Priscilla,
That's awesome.
and my son is Christopher.
If we were to ask your children what kind of father you are, what would they say?
My daughter would probably say I'm the best of the best. I don't
Daddy's
agree
little
with
girl,
that.
of course.
I don't agree with that. I mean, my daughter gives me these cards for Father's Day and for my birthday and Christmas that I can just not finish reading.
Aw.
You know, it's that Blue Mountain cards where, and she said, "Oh, there he goes again." But to me, she's special. When my daughter was born, I thought I died and went to heaven. She is just super duper, and she's a teacher. That's she loves kids, and she teaches third grade in the Bronx. Only problem is sometimes she wants to bring them all home and wants to adopt them all, and I'm saying I don't think so. So, but I think that's what she'd say. The other two, the handicap, they really wouldn't respond. Just say "Love Daddy,"
Right.
and my oldest son, who knows what he'd say. He lives in Kansas, so.
That's how you feel about your daughter, right, body mechanic?
Absolutely.
Savannah Banana.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's my princess, I mean, when she was born, I it was like, wow, could there be anything more special than that, And she's turned out to be a special person, She's really a good human being, so. Just don't tell her she looks like me.
Well,
She gets upset?
But you gotta, Ed, you gotta realize that she's productive and successful because of you and your wife.
Well, I'll take some credit for it.
Yeah.
But, when I have students that come into Suffolk Community College, I tell them, whatever it is you're going to do, what's in your heart. It's important to do what's in your heart because there's nothing like going to school to learn something that you love to do. And there's nothing like working in what you love to do.
Right.
Because it's so gratifying. When I get up and I go to Suffolk every day and I go in that office and students start coming in, I'm in my glory. Because and I tell them, don't take that course for your mother or your father, and you definitely ain't taking it for me. If that's what's in your heart, that's where you go. And sometimes I have to decipher that. They say, I want to do this, I want to do that, and you keep working at it, and before you know it, they say, well, I always did want to do this. I said, well, good. So we could do something, put you in a course. You take a course in that. That opens you up to the exposure, and then we go from there. Sometimes they want business. They take liberal arts and take a course in business. They hate it because they say it's boring. And sometimes they want to be policemen, and they take a course in criminal justice, and it's not for them. They say, no, it's not for me. So, but it is what I love to do, work with young people, and I hope that I'm as effective as I think I am, because I love what I do. I love my job, and I love Suffolk County Community College.
Well, it seems like you're doing the right thing. I mean, the main thing is getting people to understand what turns them on and creating that medium, because a lot of times children are growing up and sometimes parents try to dictate the direction that their children should go. The child will spend years in college and come out at the end and be like, I can't believe I wasted all that time. A lot of people finish university who don't go into the business they went to school for.
Absolutely right.
Because they don't spend time finding out who they are and developing their character, which is the most important thing. So what you're doing is, it's perfect what you're doing.
What would you say if I told you that I met a young man that went to college, became a lawyer, passed the bar, and hated it?
That happens I'm telling you.
Hated being a lawyer. And I says, then why did you take law? He says, well, I got a scholarship and my mother and father told me
Wow.
to pursue
I'm telling you, so many parents do that because you know what? They think about what they wanted to do and they're not thinking about the well-being of the child. I'm telling you, when someone does what turns them on, they will always be happy. It's actually not work. No. It's play.
That's how I feel.
You wake up in the morning, and I see tons of people like that. You wake up in the morning, I hop on the train, I'm in the city, and I see a bunch of miserable people having a job, and I just call it a slow death. But hey, it's all good.
Yeah. You need a little bit of everything.
You do. Yeah. You do. But you definitely need something that allows you to exude your passion, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
This is our playground.
Yeah, I can tell.
Body Shot TV.
I can tell you're having a great time.
We do.
This is the medium, but when we're out there, that's what it's about. It's about spreading that and letting people know that the sky is the limit.
Yes.
We can be all things. So.
No doubt, no doubt.
Kudos to you, man. It's awesome what you're doing.
Thank you.
Ed, tell me about the boat ride. I want to go on this boat ride.
Well, it's cruising.
How many life preservers on there?
Yes, we do. We do. We have life preservers. It's cruising for social justice, and it's hosted by the National Association of Puerto Rican and Hispanic Social Workers.
Wepa.
And it's a scholarship.
Yes, Puerto Rican.
Can I go? I'm not
Yes.
Puerto Rican.
Oh, no. It's hosted by them, but I invite everybody. I will leave you. I have flyers and I have tickets. 2 for you and 2 for her.
This guy.
Look, he is a salesman. He said, wait, check it out. He didn't say 2 for us. He said 2 for you and 2 for her.
Of course.
Wow.
We have to be a partner.
I don't know anybody. Chell knows everybody.
That's okay. Donate the ticket. I know people.
Donate the ticket.
Donate the ticket. And it's a scholarship program that we have for social work students. I can say I was a recipient of scholarship by the organization, and I know a lot of other students, but you have to be studying to be a social worker. And this cruise generates funds for that.
Do you have to be Latino?
Absolutely not.
Oh, I work with a whole bunch of social work students. I didn't know that you give scholarships.
As a matter of fact, if you have social work students, I can, because we have a doctor, Dr. Roy Aranda, who's a forensic psychiatrist, And because he likes the fact that it's a social justice cruise, he's actually donating some tickets, but they have to be for students that are studying to be social workers.
I know 11. They work with me with the after-school program.
So we'll talk about
That's
that.
awesome.
Maybe you can pick 2 or something like that, or 3, and I can get you some free tickets for
Cool
them.
beans.
Courtesy of Dr. Roy Roldan. He donated it. He's also a social worker.
When is the cruise?
It's July the 12th, Saturday, out of Bayshore, on the Lauren Christie. It's a paddle boat. And we board at 6:30, take off at 7.
Boat?
It's a
Yeah,
paddle
it's
boat.
awesome.
No,
We
it's
have to
beautiful.
row?
No.
They have life preserver and a
No.
rower?
It has a paddle in the back.
Oh,
It does
for
it with a
exercise.
motor.
Like a gerbil wheel. You got people running on the side. Just I got you.
And
I'm a little primitive.
it's a
I'll
beautiful
say.
boat. Everything's included. Food.
What kind of food you going to have?
It's going to be Italian food, but it's chicken
Italian?
mozzarella. Oh,
Wait a
yeah.
minute. you
No
said
chicharron?
No,
You said
no, no.
Puerto Rican and now we got Italian?
Italian
Where'd
food?
that come in?
Well, because we're diverse, and we don't want anybody
Ay,
offended.
Dios.
So what about some
Mio.
Chinese food and some
You can bring
Starbucks?
it. Bring
Are
some
you
Chinese
gonna,
food.
Are you going to have any...
He said you could brown bag the chicharron.
Of
All right,
course.
bet,
Yes,
bet.
yes.
Ghetto style,
The
right?
captain said it's okay.
Oh, he's cool. I like Mike. He's cool. Mike
Oh,
Egan.
you know Mike Egan?
Yes,
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 I'm
yes.
telling you, Chella knows everybody on
I
the planet.
do not. Stop
He
it.
is a
Phone
nice
books
guy.
at 10,000 people.
Stop.
Oh, he is a nice guy. I actually asked him if somebody wanted to bring a tray of Spanish rice. He says you could bring it.
Cool.
The thing is, the caterer, he works with the caterer, and it's a package deal, and that's who he uses. And I've done it before. And he brings pastries, this guy, and it's the real McCoy. Oh, yes.
Wait, are you going to have salsa
By
and
McKay.
merengue?
Oh, yes.
All right,
Oh, yes,
bet.
yes.
I want to do some tango.
Well, we'll have that too for you. I'll have if you do tango, I'll get you 4 tickets, so you can bring 3 other people with you. When you need couples dancing tango, you just can't do 2.
That's right. It's tango, not tango. By
Right.
the way. Tango.
Tango.
That's what I called it, tango.
That is
So
so
if you,
cool.
unless you want 10 tickets, and you can bring a group of tango dancers, that would be awesome.
Yes, bring your students and your teacher.
Do you know Alfred Pena?
Yes.
I just invited him this morning. I said, come
He's
on.
coming?
I hope so, because you've seen him dance?
Yes. Oh my God, he's awesome.
Well, he competes,
Yes.
What does he do, ballroom dance?
International.
Like salsa,
Yes.
bachata, and all that.
Oh,
He owns his own studio.
Smooth. So listen, we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, we're going to speak with another dad in the house. And give us a call. Join us in our
traveled
conversation.
far.
Very far.
Oh, yeah.
Way
It's
upstate.
got traffic dust on it, but it's all good.
Give us a call. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidisciplinary practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have 2 practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our 2 offices. Thank you.
I am Tom Mealy for the Harrison Law Group, and I have been telling you for years that getting involved in an automobile accident is no joke. This is what we do. We're not new at this game. If you've been involved in an accident of any kind and you go to a law firm that says you have no case, it's simple. It's because they can't do it and they don't get it. You need to call us directly at 1-800-INJURY-LAW.
Welcome back to Body Shop TV. What were you saying?
I said that. Look at the subway sign.
Body mechanic, I can look at anything I want. I get her done.
No,
I get her done.
Absolutely, Chella. You
That's
can
right.
always do exactly what you want.
Yes.
But if the camera's like this and your head is turned, I'm
Who
like,
cares?
Okay, I got you.
It's my voice.
You're right.
That they want to hear.
Absolutely, and I think I need some air now.
Yes. Isn't that cute?
Wait a minute, it's making my eyelashes grow.
Isn't that cool?
What's in here?
There's no blade. Isn't
That's
that
so special.
interesting? Body Shop Blue fan for menopause.
It's called a mini fan pause?
It's a mini fan pause. With
I feel my hormones changing. What is up?
Isn't that
some
cool?
chemicals in there.
There's no chemicals. So anyway, I want to welcome Derek Phillips to Body Shop TV. Welcome, Derek.
Thank you, thank you.
So tell me, who are you?
Who am I? I've been married for 20 years.
Congratulations.
Happily married for 20 years.
Happily married.
Happily married for 20
Forgot
years.
that word.
So
he said
he didn't say happily.
It. Yes, he did.
I did say
I didn't hear
you
happily.
Did
you hear happily?
No, because
I didn't hear that.
He did say happily.
I said it. Let me just say, I'm well trained.
Okay, good. All right. I'm
And
glad
I know
to
my
hear
wife might hear this, so I'm well trained.
You are so bad.
Are you hitting
I
me?
did say happily
Yeah,
married.
listen, let the man talk.
Hey, I'm only messing with you, too.
No, happily married 20 years.
Good.
And I have 2 beautiful girls. Jordan, 18, and Maya, 14. So Jordan just finished her first year of college, and Maya's just graduated. Well, she's going to graduate in June from 8th grade, and she'll be going to high school. And I'm also an assistant principal. I've been in education for 24 years, and I've been an assistant principal for 5 years. And I'm an assistant principal at a transfer high school in Queens, and it's called Queens Academy. And what we get is that we have students who weren't successful at traditional schools.
Mm-hmm.
So the students will come to us with their credits. They can be undercredited or overage, and they come from anywhere from 17 to 21.
Was that school around when you were in Queens?
I don't remember.
Yeah, so
How long has it been around?
It's been around for a long time. It was originally, I guess, in terms of back in the day, in terms of the alternative high schools.
Alternative.
So some people may recognize it as alternative high school, but now it's more transfer high schools. So
most schools should be alternative.
Well, they should. We really need to change the way
The
we
format's
educate our
antiquated.
students. So I think right now we do a very great job of our students graduating high school compared to, we do a great job of graduating with an education for the 20th century, but we don't do a great job of educating them for the 21st century. And the only problem is that we're in the 21st century.
That's
so
right.
education definitely is going through a transition, and we definitely need to change that. In addition to that, I am also the founder and director of Real Dads Network.
Real Dads?
Real Dads Network.
And what is that about?
So the Real Dads Network is an organization that I founded 10 years ago, and it's the outgrowth of a documentary I did. When I had my 2 girls, I was actively involved with my girls. I mean, I did everything. You know, I braid their hair. My wife would work there with me during the summer. When I go play a basketball game, they're with me. So they're constantly with me. Did the bottles, everything, everything. And it was really so nice, you know, that people recognized me. And people would say, wow, you know, here's a Mr. Mom. You know, and it felt good, you know, saying it's a Mr. Mom. But what I realized is that it was an insult. It was really an insult. I wasn't a Mr. Mom. I was a dad. I'm a parent. And it just so happens that when we talk about men, especially black men in parenting, we don't give them credit. So we make them something other than what they are.
That's right.
So I said, you know what, we have to change this perception. So I got my funds together, and I ended up doing a documentary called Real Dads, Black Men on Fatherhood. And this was done 13 years ago. And it was one of the earliest documentaries, if not one of the first documentaries, that really portrayed positive black fathers. And it had commentary by the late, great Ossie Davis. So, and as a result of that documentary, I realized that men needed a place to go where they can engage in conversation, where they can get resources, where they can get information. So I started 10 years ago the Real Dads Network. So in the Real Dads Network, we have online resources where men can go. We also have a Real Dads clubs. We have clubs in Brooklyn. We have a club in Manhattan. We have a club in Queens. So this is places where men can go share their stories and have real conversations. And then in addition to that, we also do, for the last 7 years in New York City, I do a Real Dads Week, where for a whole week we celebrate fathers, especially black fathers, throughout New York City. We have, this year we just finished, we had an award ceremony where we gave 30 awards away to dads. Parents, friends, nominated fathers, we gave them awards. And we did that at Medgar Evers College. We also had a Fathers and Children's Picnic at Roy Wilkins Park, where it was open for fathers and their children just come out, celebrate, free food. And then we also had a panel discussions on fathers and the media. And then we also did, I'm doing now in the process of doing Real Dads 2. So I did the documentary 13 years ago, and now what we're doing is that we're looking at these fathers 13 years later. So a lot of times we say fathers should be involved in their children's lives, but what is the impact when fathers are involved? So through this documentary, we show that when fathers are involved, the impact on their children is enormous. Children graduate at a higher rate. Children are not failing school. Children feel good about themselves. And what we're seeing is that a lot of times what we do at the Real Dads Network, I have this thing where a lot of times when we talk about father, 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 everyone is always focusing on the negative. So we base on the law of attraction. What you put out, you get back. What you focus on will expand. So if you want to change the images of fathers, then you got to change the conversation. So you got to talk about positive. So what we do at the Real Dads Network, we focus on positive fathers. And then we also do, for the last 7 years, we do a daddy-daughter dance.
Aww.
So we have a daddy-daughter dance. And last year was the first year we actually did a national daddy-daughter dance, where we had cities, Chicago was on board, and they did a daddy-daughter dance. Detroit, Philadelphia, Miami, North Carolina. So what we're committed to doing at the Real Dads Network is changing the images as it relates to fathers, especially black fathers.
That is
so we
awesome.
are proactive.
Is this a non-profit organization?
Non-profit organization. It's a non-profit organization.
Your daddy-daughter dance, do you do it on Long Island, New York?
We did the daddy-daughter. It's normally in New York City,
in
Manhattan.
But you have a presence on Long Island?
We have people who are living in Long Island that come to the daddy-daughter dance. But in terms of, we haven't done the daddy-daughter dance in Long Island. But we can always do a daddy-daughter dance.
Yeah, I think we should partner with them and do it here on Long Island, right, Body Mechanic?
A daddy-daughter dance?
On Long Island.
Do it right at Suffolk County Community College.
That would be great.
Well, we got the venue. Check this out.
Oh, yeah. I think they'd be very receptive to that. You know, and my research for my master's was on the student dropout rate in the nation. And it's true. You know, #1 dropout rate in the nation is Latinos. number 2 are Afro-Americans. But when I did the research, it's funny how many dysfunctional families are there, or single mother families, single parents, and of course a few fathers. But there's a common denominator when kids succeed, even though they come from dysfunctional families, and that common denominator is a mentor. Consistent. A consistent mentor. And it doesn't matter who it is, as long as they're consistently there, encouraging them. And it's true. You know, when the fathers are not there, when we're not there,
it makes a huge difference.
It makes a big difference. Unless there's somebody to pick up pieces,
right?
The dropout rate and that 33% dropout rate for Latinos and 15% for Afro-Americans is consistent for decades. And now I think they said it went down to maybe 28, 29, but now the economy. And there's many reasons why. There's many components. It's not just.
There is many components.
Yeah, many. It's not just us not being there. There's others. Language, economics, bullying, all of that plays a part. Culture.
I would like to ask you something. You made a statement before you went in and talked about the organization. And you said that people made comments to you and they called you what? And you said
Mr. Mom.
And why was that an insult?
Well, because it's dealing with perception that we have when it comes to men and fatherhood. So we think in terms of men that they're not supposed to be involved, especially black fathers. So you become the exception to the rule. When there really is no exception, you're a parent.
I was going to say that. I don't think it's an insult. I think it's that it's, I don't think they were necessarily saying it's an insult to you.
No, they don't say it as an insult to me, but it's part of the social conditioning where they're so conditioned to
because
think
you were more active with your child.
Yeah, but they're so conditioned to think that men, especially black men, are not supposed to be there, so you become the exception to the rule. But when we buy into that, we're buying into this false sense of who we really are. Like if I say to you, when we talk about statistics, and people hear the statistics, 73% of the homes, are women. 73% of women are raising kids alone. We hear that all the time, right? But that's false. That's 100% false. The reason why it's 100% false is because the women are not raising them alone. The woman may not be the father may not be in the home.
Right.
But the father is still involved. So that becomes a thing in terms of politics.
Right,
so let's
play
use the
on
politics
words.
to play on words.
Right, which is
okay,
always
and that's
done.
one of the things that we do at the Real Dads Network. We try to change the perception and the thinking that we have towards men and fatherhood.
I think there should be some further research on those statistics because a lot of women who do raise their children, the father is not involved.
And
not even with support.
And there has been statistics. There has been research that have documented that that's false. And that's why I say in terms of the research, it says that when they say absent, the dads are not absent. They're just not living in the home. And there was a research study done in December by CDC that said black fathers are more actively involved than any other ethnic group. But yet that contradicts what we're constantly hearing. In this book, and the reason why I did the documentary, Real Dads, Black Men on Fatherhood, was based on the research which clearly showed that that number of 73% being absent was incorrect.
Most of those things, though, they just put it out there and then people don't question or challenge it.
And it's because of funding. And that's why even now when we look at a lot of the federal funding, is geared towards single parents. And they say they don't want men in the home. That's why they use that number. But if you really read it, even when they put it out, if you really read it, it says women raising children with fathers not in the home, but not absent. So I have a lot of dads who are in the Real Dads Club, even in the organization, who are very, very good dads. They're very actively, and you know some as well, who don't live in the home with the mother, but they're still present in the child's life, but yet they're put in that category as being absent. The mother's raising the child alone.
Because they're not in the home.
Yeah.
I give you that, Derek, but I don't know. I'd like to see other numbers because I know so many women that have children where the father is not involved whatsoever.
And I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying when we use that statistic we constantly float around about 73% of women raising children alone, that is totally incorrect. Now, in terms of women, a lot of women raising children alone, there is a large number of them. But in terms of that number, 73%, that's incorrect.
So is there a number that you've come up with that you've discovered that's more accurate?
There is a
than
lot.
73%?
There is, in terms of numbers, you have thousands of dads who want to be actively involved, but are denied access. And that's one of the things that we're looking at as well. Dads who are denied access. Thousands of dads who want to be involved, but because of, and this is not, I'm not saying it as a woman against woman, because we're not. When we have the Real Dads Club meetings, the men are in that meeting. What we tell them constantly is that, listen, we don't bash women. We do not bash women here, because it is about family and children. So in terms of women, don't come here saying things, well, I hate this woman, she's this and she's that. And we had one father say, I want to throw this woman in a woodchuck. And we're serious. I really wanted to hurt this woman. And it's like, that's not what we do. Because if you love your child, the last thing you can do is hurt that woman.
That's right.
Because that child loves his mother, or her. So you can't hurt the mother. You don't have to like her. And you're both. And this has to be a conversation with both, even with women, who we know sometimes who were denied fathers from seeing a child because, you know what, I don't like you because you hurt me. So you're not going to see your child. It's not about you as a man. It's not about you as a woman. At the end of the day, it is about that child. What can you do working together, whether you are in a relationship or not, whether you're separated, you still have a commitment and a responsibility for both of you to raise that child. Because children, what we're seeing is that a lot of our kids are going through life when you don't have your yin and yang, you're off balance. Whether you're in the home or out of the home, you have to have the yin and the yang.
That's right.
That gives you the balance. So we don't, and sometimes when I talk and people say, oh, fathers, it's a fatherhood organization, but it's about kids. And in order for children to succeed, they need both parents. And I know sometimes with women, they're like, oh, what are you talking about? But they need both parents.
But that's how people get turned off with labels. At the end of the day, you have to look through the trees and see what's really going on. Because it is a culmination of both. You need both people. You need both entities. So, and really it's never about the parents. But everyone makes it about ego, and it continues throughout the relationship. It's terrible. It's terrible. It happens all the time.
As a social worker, I was glad to hear you say we don't let anyone come here and bash women. So you're talking about reframing, because we use that a lot in social work. Reframe. You could dislike. You don't come here saying you hate and I want to kill. I don't like some of the things that she does, and that's okay, but we do have a child together. So you're actually reframing, and I think that's good. I mean, it's good for us, for men, because we need to know that, you gotta stand up. You gotta do the right thing. My father left my mother when I was a kid, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and for us as men, one of the toughest challenges for us is to not deal with the ego. Because we are socialized from early on to be man. Man means...
whatever that means.
That whole thing of man means you're rough, you're tough. Boys don't cry. As men, we can come together and we can talk for hours, right, about sports and women, right, and not have a real conversation about, well, who you are as a person. So that's why at the clubs, we try to engage in a conversation about, having men say, you know what, I'm having some trouble because I don't know what to do with my child. My kid is talking back to me. Or, I don't know how to say, I love you. I don't know what to do. So when men can have those conversations, when you can have real conversations where it's not about the ego, it's about talking about what's human. I'm hurt. She hurt me. My kid hurt me. Those are the conversations we have to have. And that's why I say we got to refrain, as you're saying as well, refrain from a lot of stuff of what we see on television, how we've been socialized to think about how men should act, and how we should act as people. But it's like, and that's what we do at the Real Dads Network, change the conversation. And that's what's called real. It's real. We have to have some real conversation.
Derek, how many fathers are involved in your organization?
In terms of, as membership, we have, I think, over 100. But in terms of dads that we have contact through the website, through the newsletter, I would say about 5,000, 6,000. But just in terms of, not all of them come out at the same time, but in terms of being affiliated with the work that we do.
Nationwide?
Nationwide, I would say it's a lot more, because we've worked with every fatherhood organization in New York City. We're probably, the premier fatherhood organization in New York City. So every organization, whether it's in Queens, Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan, we've worked with.
And are you a member of 100 Black Men?
We're not a member of, I'm not a member of 100 Black Men, but I've worked with people that are involved in 100 Black Men.
Okay. And what is your website, or how can a dad get in touch with you?
RealDadsNetwork.org.
RealDadsNetwork.org. Cool beans.
No, you said some really interesting things, and it's funny, and we talk about this all the time. I talk about challenges with men in general. Yeah. And, you know, you see a lot of men roughhousing with their children. They roughhouse with animals, you know, like, you got to be tough. And like, I meet a man, I go, what's tough mean to you? Yeah. And most of them can't even explain it. They think it's about, you know, flexing and showing their force, and that's completely not what it's about.
Or wife beaters and Timberland boots.
And to be honest with you, like, I mean, just looking at genders in general, it doesn't really make a difference anyway. We both provide, we bring things to the equation.
Yeah.
And, you know, that male and female thing is just part of that mindset and that segregation, and we're lost in that.
Yeah,
you know, it's a play on words.
Yeah, and we really have to change that, because when we talk about, and I'm, you know, in terms of the research, when we look at the research, what we're starting to see in terms of a trend, a lot of single fathers raising children alone. Mm-hmm. We're starting to see a huge increase in the amount of stay-at-home dads, because a lot of women are graduating with higher degrees, moving into more managerial positions than men. So therefore, some men are saying, you know what, you're making more money than I'm making. I'll stay at home and raise the kids. You work.
Because it's a team thing.
It's a team. It's
right.
A team.
It has nothing to do with man and woman. It has to do with two entities that are, you know, that create that institution.
But it's about putting the child at the center.
Right.
So whether you're living in the same household or if you're out of the house, you're not in the same household. Who's at the center? When you're a parent, at the center of everything you do is your child. So if it's in the best interest of the child and this family for you to stay at home and for her to go to work, then that's what has to happen.
But it's, you know, it's interesting you should mention that, because believe it or not, 60% of college students now are women.
Of course. And there's also more women.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just,
and women are least likely to drop out of college.
Right.
And when they do drop out, it's usually because of pregnancy, and they become single moms.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, do you guys have time to stick around with us?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Tú también.
Okay.
Cool beans. So we're going to take a break right now. Give us a call. Join us. Our number's on the bottom of the screen. We'll be right back.
Old Spice body spray will make you feel so powerful to blow your mind right in front of your face. Goodbye. Oh no! Power!
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Oh, Old Spice body spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power! Power!
Try this routine to feel fresh and clean. Pair Charmin Fresh Mates with your Charmin.
Oh, Spice body spray is too powerful to stay in its own commercial. That's right. Power! Old Spice body spray can change a regular smelling man into a man who smells like power!
Now, how is this? Wow, you know what? I actually do feel more powerful.
Potato chips! Power! It's me.
Being a fireman is more than just putting out blazes and giving kittens CPR. Sometimes my duty demands I fan the flames, like when a call comes in from a lady who needs immediate assistance. Maybe she needs help with a computer thing. Maybe she wants to go antique. Could be as simple as understanding that walking in heels is hard. Aussi simple que l'été dernier à Paris. C'est sympa. Maybe it's ladies' night in, and she wants a simple, delicious recipe for margaritas with a twist. First, a can of limeade. Now hold on to this. You'll be using it. Side note, kittens make everything better. Next, add water. Now, a bottle of light beer. No, shh. Trust me, I'm a professional. And last, and most important, Sauza Blue Tequila. Now, mix it up. Ole. Yes, that's what I'm trained for. Whether it's to help her choose leggings or pants, telling her leggings are pants, or discussing leggings and jeggings versus pant pegging at her next ladies' night in, I'll come to the rescue. Don't call me a hero. Just call me. Let me know what time.
Welcome back to Body Shop TV. My name is Chella.
And I'm the very shy body mechanic NYC.
I don't have my mic on. Hold on. Welcome back to Body Shop TV. My name is Chella.
And I'm still the shy body mechanic NYC.
Why you say you're shy? You're not shy.
I am, Chella.
Get out of here.
You know how it
You
is.
are just such an
I just have to
extrovert.
I'm not.
Oh, please.
I'm shy too.
Get out of
I
here.
gotta be undercover.
I'm shy. I am really shy.
Holy
I'm
Frisco
withdrawn.
bobbles.
I'm withdrawn. I'm
She's come out, so I'll
shy.
go for that.
Yeah, right.
I'm an introvert. I swear I am.
Yeah, I remember. Pucalina.
No, stop.
Oh!
So listen.
Did you just hit me?
Yeah. So you know what we do when we have
I'm
guests
not
on our
black and
show?
bruised.
We do a little personality assessment. So we're gonna ask you some questions, and then you're gonna answer them.
I don't know. He's a hot Latino. I don't want to hear his answers.
So Ed, what's your favorite furry animal?
My Maltese that just died.
Oh,
Spasmed, yeah.
So give me 3 adjectives why that.
What you liked about that dog?
Right.
Why you picked that dog?
Shagginess.
Shagginess.
She loved be tickling
Tickling.
her.
You know what? I can never take. I'm so bad when it comes to this.
You can't keep
Thank
a
God
straight
I'm
face.
shy.
Yeah,
No,
really.
I mean, I'm thinking about the adjectives.
One more.
And she was beautiful.
Beautiful, tickly,
Loving.
and
Yeah, beautiful, loving,
Loving.
and a good companion, I guess. Good dog.
Okay. How about you? What's your favorite furry animal?
Boy, I don't really have a favorite furry animal. I guess I would just, it would be a dog.
A dog?
Yeah.
And 3 adjectives why?
Companionship, protection, and loyalty.
Interesting.
Loyal.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Loyal.
But don't tell my wife that because they're like, we have a dog. So I'm like, but it's a responsibility for a dog.
Yeah.
So that's how people view you. Those adjectives.
No. Okay.
So Ed, what's your favorite color?
Red.
Why? 3 adjectives why?
What is it about red that you like?
I'm not sure why, but I like the brightness. It makes me feel alive. And
It's a Puerto Rican thing.
And it looks nice on people. Nice looking.
Nice looking, bright, alive.
Bright and alive.
Okay. How about you, Derek?
I would say gold.
Gold?
Gold.
Why?
In terms of gold, it's, it stands out. It's something that's royal. And with gold, it's also my fraternity color.
Okay.
One of my
So
fraternity
that's
colors.
how you view yourself. You do
I
the
like
next
this. I like
You like it?
I'm
You
gonna
do
have
the
to try
next
this.
two.
I'm going to have to try this at home.
Or do it with your dad's group.
Yes, I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah.
do this.
Right. So, what is your favorite body of water? It could be an ocean, it could be
A bathtub.
it could be anything that has to do with water.
It would have to be a lake.
A lake, okay. How about you?
Well, I can't swim. That's always that tough. The water one is always tough. I would
could be
say for
anything.
me,
It could
you
be
know,
a
it would
jacuzzi,
be
a tub, it could be
beach, because I know my kids love to go to the beach. So, and I know they're also on the swim team, so.
Okay.
And they like to swim.
So, you said, what did you say? You said
I said lake.
Lake. So, what is it you like about the lake?
It's more intimate.
More intimate?
I am actually afraid of open space in the ocean, so
You're
I feel
afraid.
safe
You feel safe, okay.
in a lake.
Intimate, safe.
And it's usually surrounded by trees and flowers, and that's alive. I like that.
Alive, safe.
Intimate and safe.
Right. Excellent.
I guess the lake, a beach would be, you know what I like when I go to the beach? I don't swim, but just looking out where it's just endless.
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 Two more.
It's endless. It's also huge.
Huge.
And it's also daring.
Daring. So, that's how you guys view sex.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
My wife is going to really like this one.
Endless. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Chill it. Okay, and here's the other one. The other one is, picture yourself waking up and you're in a white room and there's no doors and no windows.
Oh.
Just take it in for a second. Just think about it. Okay? So now I want you to describe the feeling.
3 adjectives.
First of all, I'm claustrophobic, so I
you
would
feel
be
claustrophobic.
terrified.
You're terrified.
I would be terrified. I would probably hyperventilate, and I would start trying to make a hole somewhere to get out.
Trying to get out. You want to get out.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting.
I view it as being peaceful.
Peaceful.
Relax, and looking at it as a time for me just to meditate.
Would you feel the same way if the room was dark?
If it was dark, yeah. I sort of like that. If it's a room where it's not a lot in there, give me time to just think and meditate.
He should do the float.
No, I just threw another dynamic in there, but the deal is like, because see, if it was dark, you wouldn't know if you were in anything. But what that actual scenario was with the white room is how you view death.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so I never thought about that one.
How you like us now?
Oh. See, I was trapped. I was in a major car accident. I was trapped, and that trauma brought this claustrophobia, and it is
Because you couldn't get out.
Yeah.
How long were
couldn't
you
get out.
trapped?
I don't even know. I mean, I just remember being pulled out and screaming, "You're killing me," because I had a dislocated hip, and they kept saying, "Ed, stay with us," because they didn't want me to fall out.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny because you don't think much of it, and then one day, and interesting when you said dark, as I said, oh my God, that would even be worse.
That's why I said that.
Because at night, I'm getting goosebumps. Because while I was in the hospital, I kept waking up, and I was curtains surrounding me, dark.
Dark,
And I
not
kept-
white?
It was, well, no, it was dark where we were at. There was like very minimal lights. And I kept telling the nurse, I have to get up. I can't take it. I can't take it. And she says, you don't understand. You can't get up. You have a dislocated hip. You can't walk. So all of a sudden, I'd be out again. And then I'd wake up again, and they'd knock me out again. And when they put me in the general room, when it started to get dark outside, it's an awesome feeling. It's not a positive feeling. It would be, I would feel enclosed, and I had windows in the room, but I would feel enclosed, but not a great feeling.
I mean, this is an interesting dialogue between the two of you, and I'm going to tell you why. The reason why, I've never said this before about a black room, but the deal is, I knew you would say it would be the same experience for you. Because life is lived in here. And what's really important, and this is something I talk about a lot, your children, people that are young, it's very important to be careful what you have access to in your brain, because it creates a mental mapping. Now, where he sees tranquility, it's a whole different story for you. The construct of the mind and what it sees are things that we've conjured up when we were young. So for instance, when a child has fear of the dark, actually most of those things that the child sees in the dark are made up. And what happens is, it transitions with you throughout your life. There's a thing that we do. We are having an alliance with a place on Long Island that has deprivation tanks. And what happens is,
I've heard of that.
when you go in, whenever you're in the dark, right? What happens is, based on your history and what's been programmed or what the things you've led to create yourself, become your reality in the dark. When I lay in a dark room, I see whatever I want. You actually have control over it. But this is how it goes back to the fear thing. And I always talk about fear being a man-made construct, and it is. It's also used as a medium to control population, everything, to buy products. Fear is always used. And it's not real until you believe it. So for instance, when we go into the dark, when I go into the deprivation room, what happens is first they play music for a few minutes. And not to get away from the subject, I'll come back to that. Once they turn the music off, the light is out, then all of a sudden what you see first is these images in the dark. And what they are the things that you've created in your own mind. So everything is in here.
Well, and that's really when we talk about the work that we do at Real Dads Network. It's the programming. It's you have to change the program. That's why I said the whole Mr. Mom. Because we've been programmed when we see a man, a black father, taking care of his kid, we sort of say, that's exception, that's not normal. So we don't look at him and say, that's a dad raising his kid or with his son or daughter. We say it's a Mr. Mom.
Right.
So you're not acting like a father, you're acting like a mother, okay, because that's not what men do.
Well, it's so funny because I used to go through the same thing, because I take my daughter to get manicures, and they said a woman should do it. I go, it doesn't make a difference. It's time spent with your child. It doesn't make a difference about the activity. Children remember the bonding.
The experience.
It's not the activity.
Experience.
They're not going to say 30 years from now, remember the manicure. They're going to remember the experience being together.
And that's what we do with and that's the purpose of the daddy-daughter dance, to create that experience. And and I tell people we have the daddy-daughter dance, but it's really not a daddy-daughter. It's a family event. Because in terms of the daughters, the mothers are excited about, one, their daughters going to a dance, because some of them say, I never went to a dance with my dad. They're excited about taking the daughters to get the dress, get the hair done, and stuff like that. So they're excited about it. So it becomes a family event. So when the daughter comes home, how was the dance? How was the time with dad? So it's really a family event. So in terms of what we do, is a lot of it is just creating the experience. And one of the things, when we did the first documentary, that one of the dads said, he said, I took my daughter to Disney World. I did all this stuff with her. And I say, remember that? She says, no, I don't remember. But I remember, Dad, when we just walked to the park.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right.
That's
I remember when
they don't understand the psychology of the child.
Yeah.
The child wants to have fun, and the child wants to bond. Yeah. It's not about what you buy them. It's about what you do with them and what they see.
Well, a lot of displaced fathers feel they have to overcompensate for not being around or available, so they do that by spending so much money. It's not about the money, it's about the time.
It's the time. Nothing can beat the time that you spend with a child. When you can, and it's not just time, it's quality time.
Right.
It's not that you're there, but what are you sharing? Are you engaging in a conversation where you're asking questions to your child, and you're allowing your child to say, wow, okay, Dad, all right, I didn't think about that. You're engaged, you're having a conversation, you're talking. You're not just taking them to the movies. You're not just taking them to a play or just taking them to have fun, but you're having quality time.
That's the stuff that they remember, because now irons are active and there's engagement.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, I think that so many parents should actually take a child psychology course, because most of them have no clue. They don't even realize how incredible their children really are and how fast their brain is. They don't miss anything.
As a social worker, I have to agree with you 100%.
I've always said that.
It's just like I also think that we should take a course before we get married. I'm not talking about the pre-K now.
Absolutely, for yourself.
Yeah. You should really investigate what is it that bothers you. The toilet paper this way or that way? That's a fight?
No, that's important, Ed. Come on, that's important.
The paper down. The paper down.
I'm well trained.
I like it
so
down.
sit down. Sit down.
I went, you were saying that I went to Caldors with my daughter when the Macarena was around, and I started dancing.
What's the
She said-
Macarena.
Macarena?
Yeah.
Yeah. And my daughter said, Dad, what are you doing? if some of my classmates see you, they're going to think you're a nut. And I said, good, then they won't bother us. So she says, oh, I'd love to get that Tootsie Roll maker, which costs $90. I said, if you dance with me, I'll get it for you. In the store, in Caldors, right? You know, that's like what you just said. It's there.
It's there.
That as small as that was. So to this day, she remembers that.
Aww.
But that's the thing. Those are things we
great
remember, is that engagement, you know? And it's absolutely the most important thing because their brain is developing, it's hungry, and when you question and ask them things, they have to use it rather than autopilot. You know? So
we're going to take a break. I'm going to do a little coughing attack, and stay with us. Give us a call. We'll be right back.
Dad, where do babies come from?
Well, there's Dad's big, shiny rocket ship. That's right, it's filled with babies of all kinds. And when the shiny rocket ship penetrates, Mommy and Dad goes, and when the time is just right, there's a space launch.
All systems go.
Babies of all kinds. Released all over the place. Yeah, Africa. Mommy's Babylandia. That's right, it's filled with babies. After an amazing 9 months, babies. And that, son, is where babies come from.
But Jake said babies come from
Planet. Babylandia.
Play
with us on the bus.
wheels on the bus
Go round and round, round and round, round and round. Wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town.
Guys, ready for the show? Yeah. Enjoy.
For professional motorcycle transport and towing, think Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. Proudly serving all of Long Island, we feature expert handling and 24/7 service. So send a limo for your toy with Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing.
Welcome back to Body Shop TV. My name is Chella.
And I'm the Body Mechanic NYC.
Whoop, whoop. So I am really enjoying these fathers here, Body Mechanic. Very interesting. Derek, I have a question. Two questions. The men that are involved in your organization, is it designed for only African American men or all men?
All men.
Okay.
So it's open to, the clubs are just a space where men can go. And we have men from we have really men from pretty much African Americans and Latino dads. But we'll get calls from men from all over. We have someone calling us from Seattle saying, I heard about, I need some assistance. I want to ask a question, and I heard about Real Dads Network. So we get people that will call us on the phone from all over, whether they're black, white, or whatever ethnic group they belong to. But what they need and what draws them is just a place to go, to ask questions, to have a resource, to have someone that will listen, but also have someone that will say, you know what, you're dead wrong. So it's sort of like that safe zone. You know, we kids, you know, a lot of times we think of kids, right? When they grow up, you have the Boys and Girls Club, where you can go, have fun, play, talk, share an experience. Well, the Real Dads Club is that place for men.
And how are you funded?
Funded. We're not funded, so we try to get grants, but a lot of it is just you get money out of pocket, because the thing is, a lot of federal agencies and state agencies, they don't fund this. The reason why they don't fund this is because we don't have men in there who are absent. We don't have men who are abusing, you know, their mates. So a lot of the federal funding
is for.
That's where the federal funding is there for dads who are not involved. Because the whole thing of the Create Net was to say, okay, we're spending so much money on kids who don't have fathers, single mothers. So we want to get fathers in. So they create these programs, and they're called programs, where you go to the program, and we're going to teach you we're going to counsel you on how to be an engaged dad. We're going to counsel you on domestic violence. So we're going to we need your Social Security number, so we need child support. So that's the method. But then you give them that, but when the program ends, where do you go? And we have a lot of dads who are, you know, didn't have dads, and they didn't know what it was like what are some of the skills you need to be a dad. Dads who are active with their kids, but still, where's the model? I mean, I grew up, I didn't have a father. My father was never around. My mother died when I was 10. I was raised by an alcoholic. My older sister was an alcoholic, dysfunctional family. So a lot of us don't have that model. So we have a lot of fathers who said to themselves, who made a promise that, you know what, my dad wasn't there for me, but my promise is that when I have kids, I'm going to be there for my kids. But a lot of them don't know how to really be a parent, because no one really taught them. So coming to the clubs, they're able to just hear other men talk about some of their challenges, some of their triumphs. And it's like, wow, you know, and even me, I mean, I pulled from the club. So when I hear some of the other dads talking about, you know what, when I did this with my daughter and she did this, and I'm like, oh, right, I'm going to use that. So we're not experts. Right. We're all just sharing experiences.
No, we all learn from each other.
We all learn from each other.
And as long as we're open, we continue to evolve. And even from this point forward, we can evolve even more.
We had a club meeting today, too.
I think it's very interesting that I had 8 men confirmed to be on the show today, and only 2 showed. And when I was putting the feelers out to solicit men to be on the show, I communicated with a lot of women that I know. And they were saying, oh, I wish I could have my father on, because they were all out of state. So I say that to ask you this. When you have your father-daughter dance, is it just for children, young girls, or can it be adult women? Or has it ever been?
That's a question we get asked a lot. And the thing is that my wife came to the dance with her dad 2 years ago. We have women who come with their dads who are older, younger, because the whole thing is, for some of them, they never had that experience of bringing their dad, sharing that experience with them. So it's open.
Because I would like the Body Shop Enterprise to partner with you and have one on Long Island. I want to fly my father in and take my father, because I've never had a wedding. He never walked me down the aisle. So this is a great opportunity for him to dance with me. Don't you think so, Body Mechanic? Because ain't nobody going to marry me anytime soon. Let's face it. Ain't that right, Body Mechanic? So I want to do that.
I'm not even looking at the camera.
No, you don't have to. I'm keeping it real. I think that's a great idea. I want to do that.
Let's do it.
Jesus Christ, superstar.
I'm an action person, so.
Me too. I get her done. Don't I? Yes. I want to. That is so exciting.
We have the venues. I mean, so the venues are not a problem.
The venue, is it gratis?
Well, we will try to get it gratis.
I
always, oh, that's even better.
A daddy doing a dance on
July
the boat.
The 12th.
And I'll run and keep the flippers rolling.
And they're gonna sponsor. They're gonna sponsor.
I like
you
that.
Don't have to worry.
I know, because it's true. We're partnering with them.
Oh,
we didn't say
yeah, but you just said it. They don't have fun. You know,
we'll get sponsors.
It does bother me. It does bother me that something like that is positive.
We just do a fundraiser, that's all.
Right.
Well, I was going to say that. Then maybe
with your help, that'd be easy.
Right?
Selling those tickets.
I would do it.
We're going to hire you.
I really would. I would do it.
Right. We have it on film.
Yes.
So it's documented, right?
Right here. Where's the Bible? I think it's a wonderful idea. I think what you're doing is great. I think we need
So
that.
many of my girlfriends will bring their fathers.
And I mean,
and
we'll have to have tissues
that
though.
boat.
Yeah.
I like that boat.
You like the boat?
You like the
I
boat?
like
Yeah,
that
yeah. I think
boat.
it would
you
be
know
great.
what?
And it comes with Dramamine.
I'll speak. You know what? I'll speak
Well, you
with
put the
Mike
bracelet.
Egan, the owner, and see if he'll give us the boat for free.
You got it. And mention my name. He says, Eddie's helping us organize it, and you'll see what he says.
So you heard it here, right here on Body Shop TV. We are going to partner with
Real
Dads.
Chella puts the squeeze on everything.
If you have a father you want to dance with, bring it, because it's on and popping on the Lauren Christie paddle boat.
You got to see. I'll tell you what I did. I won Maserati for a weekend. I was at the gala at Suffolk Community College. They had a raffle, $20, and I won a Maserati for 2 days. And I asked
How was that?
convertible. If I hit the lotto, I'm buying one. $148,385, not including
For 2 days?
2 days.
Where'd you go?
What I did is I asked for it for the Puerto Rican Day Parade and the Salsa Festival in Brentwood.
Okay.
So because I was going to drive Tito Puente, and I drove
Junior.
and I drove the
Wow.
Felipito
play
Palacio, who is the Grand Marshal.
Who, Tito? ¿Tú toca conga?
No, I don't. No, I have a conga at home, but my brother was the conga player. And what I did was I went to the Lauren Christie where he has it maroon. I took a picture with Lauren Christie in the background. PR work.
You are a marketer, man. Look at this guy.
And
We
the
want to hire you.
Maserati, and you got to see, it's an awesome picture, and I put it on Facebook, and I sent it to him. I said, Mike, look what I did. Then I went to Suffolk Community College because I wanted their gala, and I took one right in front of Suffolk to advertise their gala and to advertise Suffolk. And I am very biased. I mean, I love Suffolk Community College. I think that many kids, I see kids returning from upstate in admissions because they do great in high school. They go upstate. What happens?
Yeah. The transition.
They bring them back.
Yeah.
Parents bring them back because they start to party.
Yeah.
You don't go from a 97 average to failing for nothing. So they bring them back here, and this is a good place to start. You're only talking $10,000 for 2 years, and we could prepare you, but you have to do the work. It's not. You and I we can all do whatever we can do, but I tell the kids the bottom line is, I can't do the papers for you. You got to do it. I can't do the presentations for you. You got to do it. But if you want to go to Harvard, we'll get you to Harvard for free. But you got to do the work. And it's possible.
Well, I got to have you come in and talk to some of my students.
Be my pleasure, really.
Yeah, we got to definitely set that up for next
year.
I
I get parents that say, can I send my kid to you? You got to talk to them. I think you could do it. And I said, well, hopefully I can convince him. But in the end,
they have to do the work.
They have to do the work.
Yeah, but all you got to do is open the light. Turn the light on and flip the
Well, you
switch
said it
and
before. You used the key word that I use a lot. It's just that I add another one to it. You got to be open.
Yeah.
Aggressively open. But the open thing, because if you're not open to suggestions, if you're not open, you said it too. You said, we come in, we're not experts, we learn.
That's right.
You continue to evolve. That's what happens. That's what
we're all a work in progress.
Every day's a school day.
And the brain is capable up until the final moments before we close our eyes to create new patterns.
All you got to do is read about these 84-year-old, 89-year-old people getting a college degree.
Absolutely. There is no excuse.
That's right.
I had a 63-year-old woman in my class that she wanted to be a social worker at 63 because her husband left her. So she says, I want to be a social worker. What an inspiration that was.
She had a lot to offer also. Life experience. That's what it's about.
We were so inspired. I was inspired, and I was close to, well, not that close, but I was close. But the kids, the younger kids, because she represented grandma to some of them, and mamas. And here she was doing the same work we were doing. It really is inspiring.
So, gentlemen, do you think we could do this in October of 2014?
Yes.
You think it's too cold for the boat?
I would say that, but
it's
he doesn't close it. He doesn't close it.
Is it enclosed?
Indian summer. Yeah, he has the panels.
He puts the stuff down.
Why so far away?
That's my birthday.
What day? Don't tell me the 21st.
No, my birthday is the 8th.
Oh.
So I'm looking at doing it like the 4th or the 11th, or maybe a Thursday
If
night.
he hasn't put the boat away. But
Thursday's going to be, weekdays are always tough.
yeah, but the thing is.
That's when it's free.
Right. That's how it's easier to get it then.
Right.
Like he did a favor for me. Because we're going on a Saturday. And Saturday's more expensive.
Right.
And you have to guarantee more people. And I said, non-for-profit, we don't have money. This is what we're going to do. And he did. He lowered the fee for me, for the organization. And he said, all right, you don't have to guarantee me so many people. And you know what? And what do? I talk about it. And that's my way of paying it back to him.
The boat is really nice.
It is nice.
Have you been on the boat?
Oh, yeah, several times.
Me
Laura
too.
Christie, yeah.
And the
How
food.
many people does it hold?
I don't know.
You could sit 125 people in one shot to eat. That's
Now, what about a
that's
we're
max.
talking about a dance floor as well.
Upstairs.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
There's 2 levels.
Yeah, there's 2 levels.
And you said October, and you're talking about a weekdays is always tough. Because
Maybe, how about a Sunday?
A Sunday, then you got to think of the fact that some of them may have to go to work Monday. The best day is a Saturday. Saturday is always, the best day for everybody is Saturday.
Yeah, that's
Saturday's the best day.
prime time.
Well, we'll talk about details.
Yeah.
But let's shoot for October. Cool beans? Cool beans.
What's funny is after we started doing the cruise, all of a sudden so many other people, even the retired policemen said, we're going to have a cruise, because I put it on Facebook. And I wrote and I said, yeah, and look out for this and this and this and this and this. And it didn't go over because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So they didn't do it. Salvadorians have one on the 6th of July, the week before us. But theirs is different. They're taking kids. We don't, bless
me.
you. We don't have kids on the boat. It's not.
And theirs is sold out.
It's just about. Oh, yeah. Well, but I have 20 tickets for you guys. Well, you're the sponsor, so I have to have 10 for you.
Yeah, buddy,
and
we
then you're
gotta
the
get a
co-sponsor.
sponsor.
I have another 10. Well, you're both sponsors.
You guys are funny. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Yeah, that guy's a salesman.
Stop the truck! Stop the truck! Please. Thank you.
YesWeCare.net is a 501c3 charity that provides help to veterans and their families. Please visit YesWeCare.net and donate in any way you can by purchasing our beautiful frame prints or relaxation CDs and DVDs, even smooth jazz CDs. YesWeCare.net. Remember, our troops are on their way home. They need all the support they can get. YesWeCare.net.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidisciplinary practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our two offices. Thank you.
We're back. Welcome back to Body Shop TV. My name is Chilla Chilla.
I am the body mechanic, very shy NYC.
OMG. I just want to remind our viewers that we're having our Touch Sensorium this Monday on June 16th from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Awesome Heels School of One, which is located at 203 East Pulaski Road in Huntington Station. We will be providing free massages, free veggie juicing, and other wellness modalities. Bring your friend, and you may walk home with an awesome prize.
Yep, come and get rubbed.
And watch us on bodyshopenterprises.com. You can look at all of our TV shows, especially our last one, on our website, bodyshopenterprises.com. So I want to thank our guests for coming. I know we have a little bit more time with you, but before, I don't want to forget, as a thank you to you from the Body Mechanic and myself, one of our sponsors, Main Catch, called me this morning and want to offer both of you gentlemen a $25 gift certificate. They are the best seafood restaurant on Long Island in Comac. All you got to do is take our card and bring it to them, and they'll give you a $25 gift certificate.
Fantastic.
Nice,
And
right?
what did I have, a 4.5 pound? I had a 4.5 pound lobster last night.
What?
Yeah, he goes there like
That's
every
4.5
Friday
pound
night.
lobster? I do about 20, 25 pounds a month.
In lobsters?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the only thing that can't be grown in captivity.
Oh, that's true.
Not only that, I know that when I'm eating it, a few minutes before, it was kicking around doing push-ups.
Ooh.
So the life force is still in it.
We could use him at the Cruising for Social Justice. Yeah, another sponsor.
Something else.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
You are
Yeah.
focused. You can.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
we'll get
Dale
them.
Carnegie
We'll,
doesn't have anything on you.
Oh, no.
right? No, we'll
I've read
get
enough
them.
of his books.
I bet.
We'll get them to sponsor the dinner, the daddy and daughter dance.
Fantastic. You see? Oh, good.
Yeah, the food is great. Awesome. Just
Good.
take the card with you.
Okay.
Please. So when we were on break, we were talking about spending quality time with our kids, and you were talking about how you spent quality time with your daughter.
Well, my daughter used to go to Fordham University in the Bronx, and I would pick her up every Friday and take her back every Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes there was construction there, and we would get stuck for 2-3 hours.
Uh-huh.
And the most intimate conversations that I had with my daughter was right there in that car.
Yes.
But she took me to task, too. She set me straight. I mean, I would say, I started telling you about that song.
Uh-huh.
And I said, you know, I don't have a problem with the song. I think it's beautiful, but why did they have to have this scene? And
what scene was that?
The two guys kissing. And my daughter says, "Oh, but you're open-minded." She says, "For what you want. I bet you have certain fantasies that wouldn't bother you." And I said, "You got me. You're absolutely right." I mean, that day, my mind really opened up. I mean, it opened up another door where I said, "Oh my God, my daughter's there." I mean, I always say if you let our young people, most of them anyway, rule the world, we wouldn't have so many problems.
Well, most young people, most people that are young, are open because that's how we're born. We create the coffins for them.
That's
the
right.
closures.
Right. I agree.
You know.
So this is the song by Christine Aguilera, "Beautiful."
You're beautiful.
Yeah.
But you wanted to make a point. What he talked about was being in the car, and I want to say something about that. The deal is, because we talk about that quite frequently. I talk about it in my classes that a lot of people don't have quiet time. We are overstimulated by our environments. We're overstimulated in our homes. We have way too many things. We walk in, stimulation, stimulation, stimulation. When you negate that, the brain becomes open like a sponge.
Yeah.
And when you don't have those distractions like the phones and other electronic devices, now it's
Radio.
mano a mano. This is the most quality time that you can have.
So true.
Right, and most of the things that we gather during the day, they don't get solidified in the brain until when it's quiet time at night without all the distractions.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, it's funny because the first year she went to Fordham, I went to Suffolk Community College when she became a sophomore. And I would tell her, "Do you hear yourself talk? You talk different now. You sound different." "No, I don't." My sophomore year at Suffolk, she says, "Dad, you realize you talk differently now?" But that's the car thing. That's that isolation. That's that put everything aside and be open, be present in the moment. And it just does something to you.
That's right.
And I started to realize, you know
the best
what?
talks will always be that way. But you can actually create that community no matter where you are.
I
It's all
agree.
based on mindset. You can eliminate what's going on around you. It takes practice. That's when meditation comes in. So.
Well, I've done both. I don't know if I've done transcendental meditation and Buddhist meditation. I actually have a Buddhist temple near my house on Rustic in Center Reach.
Are they going to the
They're from,
Are they going on the cruise? Are they sponsored?
No, because they're they don't do certain things.
Oh, they're not open.
They don't touch.
You can get them in the car.
No, you're right. They
You're
don't
kidding.
touch.
I like
They don't.
the
They're from
car.
Thailand. They don't touch women. And I'm saying, why? What about your
Wait a
mother?
minute, I went to Thailand.
They
I saw
don't.
them touching a lot of women. What are you talking about?
Oh no, you're not You're not a monk.
Oh.
You got to be a monk. They only eat it. Believe it or not, one big meal a day. After that, they can't eat anything that they chew. So, and it's good that you said what you said because we used to have sessions, and we started talking about bonding, and I started thinking about that when you were talking about having these people together, and there's a bonding, and then attachment, and they believe that suffering is from attachment, and there's some truth to that. You're attached to your car, you're attached to your house, you're attached to material
These
stuff.
are man-made constructs. They're not real.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, it's all in your head.
But I would tell them, for a child to develop correctly, they have to bond, and they need attachment. They need attachment to somebody, which leads me to a question I wanted to ask you. You said you came from a dysfunctional family. Who saved you? What was that common denominator that was there for you?
I guess for me, I mean, I'm the youngest of 4 brothers, 3 sisters. And my mother, when I was growing up, it was my mother. And I was one of those kids where, I mean, first grade I got left back. Well, I didn't get left back. I played hooky in the first grade. I played hooky in the second grade. I got left back in the second. I played hooky in the third. I played hooky in the fourth. I played hooky in the fifth. And, and my mother would say to me, it's like, the only thing I want is the greatest thing that I can ever get in this world is just to see you graduate from high school. That's all she ever wanted. So, and my mother died when I was 10. And my dad was never really a part of my life. I would see my dad, I don't know, Some years I'll see him 1 or 2 times. Some years I might see him, I won't see him at all. I might see him 1 year, maybe 3 times. But he was never really a part of my life at all. And my oldest sister who raised me, she was, I was 10, she was 26. And she was the oldest, and I had other brothers, so she had all of us there. And it was difficult for her. I mean, she was a functional alcoholic. My other brother, oldest brother, was a functional alcoholic. I had another brother on drugs, and another sister who was an alcoholic in and out of a mental institution. So that's what I grew up with. And that was in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, Crown Heights, Bronzeville, East New York. So that was my environment. And I just said, I wanted to do something different. And I guess the thing that sort of changed me is when my mother died. I guess I said, I started going to school. So, and they didn't understand what was going on, but I started going to school. I was in one of the top classes in the school in 6th grade. And I think for me that was a turning point for me. And then I think also what really helped me is that my friend's brother was in prison. And he was a Muslim. And he started telling his brother about Islam and being a Muslim. And I sort of got involved in that when I was about 14. So, and I think that is something that sort of kept me stable. So here it is, I'm 14, and I'm running around with a dashiki, and I have my book As a Light Shineth from the East, and I'm in the park talking to, young men and other people about the importance of not eating pork and the importance of, like, what is wrong with this guy? 14 years old. And then even in my house, I had my 3 nieces and my older brothers and sisters. I'm 16, and my nieces, and they were at the time 12, 10, and 8. I was their dad. And here it is, their mother would say to them, how come you're not going outside? Well, Derek put me on punishment. Derek put me on punishment. And I would put signs up in the house. We're having a family meeting. So, family meeting. And, bringing everybody in there. And I'm like, we need to start engaging in conversation. We need to even start saying, I love you in the morning. So this is 16. So at a very early age, I guess, for me, I wanted something different. I wanted something different. And it's like and that's what happens with a lot. We see it a lot, even with some of the fathers that we speak to, is that they want something different. They make that promise to themselves that the life that I had, for me growing up, not having the father and the parents, I want something different for my child. So, and for me, I think that was my turning point. It was like I didn't want my children to have to go through what I went through. So, and I made that promise that I would just be there for my kids.
I want to say something. I'm listening, and I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
You were always grounded. He always had his eye on the prize.
I would say yes.
Mm-hmm. I can tell. I would say to what you're saying, your story.
Yeah, I would say yes, because even my nephew, and I grew up with my sister. She had her 3 kids. My nephew we're the same age. I mean, he was out, getting high, and he would smoke with his friends and stuff like that. But I never really.
And you were never a follower.
No.
You always had your own drummer. You always had the sound in your head.
Yeah, I never.
Had to. He dropped out his. You were playing hooky in first grade.
But you just listened to
even
the
that,
things he said.
when I played hooky,
you know what?
it was
he was
because
bored.
I did it.
He wasn't
Right.
challenged. He wasn't
Yeah.
challenged, and he didn't find importance in where he was. I was the same way.
Yeah.
I
And
saw
that was my
the
whole thing,
journey
it's
the whole
like-
time. I was always somewhere else,
Yeah.
regardless of what happened around me.
When people are doing things, I'm not influenced. I can hang around people that are drinking, that are smoking. That doesn't bother me.
Do you share that story with the students in your school?
Well, the students that I had when I was teaching, I would share a lot. And even now, with students, I have students that I still keep in contact with that are 34, 35. They still call me.
Nice.
So I still have a relationship with them. But my position is a little different now because now I'm an assistant principal. So I'm
But he will say it on the boat ride.
Yes, right. You will be there, right?
Yes.
With a few of the fathers.
This
I have the
is,
tickets right there.
Oh, those tickets. Bam!
I see Richard's got
I'm taking no travel.
You're funny, man.
I like that.
No, but a lot of young people are not grounded.
Yeah.
There's a term in psychology called internal locus of control. He was grounded. It doesn't make a difference. Certain parents see children, they know. And we talked about this. Yeah. Sometimes parents play favorites. But they don't play favorites necessarily because the child is the favorite, but they know that child needs more attention.
Right.
And there's certain kids that can do their own thing.
And I wouldn't even say favorites.
Right.
It's knowing your child.
Right.
Knowing your
But they
child.
give.
Yeah, because
they
sometimes
give
you may have to
because
give
they
more.
realize that that child doesn't have it, and they
yeah.
give it to them.
And that's also in any. That's really in any relationship. 'Cause
Right.
even when you're
It's a give and
married,
take.
sometimes you know what the husband is giving more, and sometimes the wife is giving more. In any relationship where you are, there's always this give and take, and that's the power of relationships.
But it's all for one common direction
There you
and
go.
cause.
Yeah.
So
You know, it's like the old adage or cliche, you know, a relationship should be 50-50. No,
That's
it's
a
not.
bunch of bullshit.
It's not.
I'm sorry.
No.
It's not WLIE. We could curse.
That's bullcrap.
It's not. It's not. It's not. It's, you know, in social work, when I did therapy, I would ask.
Yeah.
And it's funny how they would always say, it's 50-50. I said, no, it's not. When he needs 60, you give 60. When she needs 70, you need to give 70.
It all averages out in the
Yeah,
end.
it balances out.
Because you just said it. It's the common cause. It's the same thing. So if you give 70 and I give 30, what do we get?
Yeah.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
You're still going as long as you're not hurting anybody, and,
Yeah.
and it's conducive to what it is that you want to achieve, the goal. And you were talking about the kids. What's the goal? The goal is
Everybody is a player in the game, and where the problem comes in is when outside things interject, and it's not their journey, and they take from their position and they cast things in, and all of a sudden that creates problems in the house.
Yeah, and a
Everybody
lot
needs
of
to live
that,
their
and
own
you talked
journey.
about as well in terms of the mindset, in terms of how we are conditioned. And one of the most powerful socializing agents is media.
Oh.
That's the most powerful socializing agent.
Because
Media.
it is box going. Because those things all have their own motives and what they want to push.
Yeah. You know, and even now, and we're at a very crucial time in our history now. And I say this, is that this is the first time in our history where the kids are the natives and we're the immigrants. And, you know, when you think about this, you know, in terms of when you had immigrant families that would come over, the parents would take the kid with them. If they're going to a social service agency, they would take the kid with them because they want someone to translate. The kid would translate.
Exactly.
But what happens when you do that is that the kid has a lot of power.
That's right.
So now, today, how many of us are going to our kids and are saying, what do I do with this phone? What do I do with this TV?
That's right.
How do I use this computer?
How do I use this computer?
How do I hook this up?
Because they're stuck. They're antiquated and they're stuck and they're not
and
open.
that gives kids a lot of power.
Gives them
Even
power,
in
that's
terms
right.
of school, you know, when we talk about kids in school, here it is, a teacher, when we talk about engagement, kids have all these things going on. This, that, they're doing this and that. And then the teachers, I need you to...
Pay attention.
And then when you talk about technology, the kids are like, okay, you got to kind of like wow me.
Yeah,
You're
that's
just
right.
sort of having me right on the board, and you're just
They're
dictating to
completely
me.
overstimulated. Completely, and that's where the problem is. The problem is that there needs to be that grounding time and that time to focus. A lot of these kids, they can't complete anything.
And it's a challenge, but also in terms of the teacher, because now that's a child you have in front of you, because the whole thing is that you have to be able to engage that kid, and you got to go to where that kid is. Because if you don't engage that kid, then you're not going to move that kid, and that kid is not going to learn anything.
You know, and that works for us too. Because we just did a workshop at Suffolk, you know, and they had this lady came in, and the whole thing was, you know, how do you solve issues at the workplace as adults, as professionals? And it's, you know, most of us were saying, oh my God, this is probably going to be boring. Complete opposite. This woman was so engaging that everybody said, wow, I would do this again. And it was over 2 days. That's what we need. And you know, yes, the kids are challenged from all over. If the teacher's going to say, you don't want to learn? Okay.
Yeah,
fine. I'll
read
just
pages 50 to 20.
Yeah, I'll do Derek. You want to learn Derek? Okay, well, the heck with him. You start minimizing. When I look at transcripts, I get so angry. Seriously. I look at transcripts in high school, and you're doing 90s and 80s. your first semester in high school. You're doing a few 90s and less 80s in your second year. You're in your third year, now you're getting 70s and 60s. And I asked the kids, did you get called in by a guidance counselor? No, nobody ever called me. Those are red flags. And then they go to senior year.
Yeah.
Oh my God, 70s and 60s, and they come in where they started with an 88 average, and you're down to like a 72, 70. What are guidance counselors, what are they doing? What are the social workers doing? What system is in place to raise the red flags that say, I need to call him in?
Well, I would agree with you about 80%, but I can tell you something. Some of the smartest people in the world did not get 80s and 90s.
I agree with you.
And the deal is, I mean, as people learn other things that go on and a lot of the social construct and the things that we're taught, people start even questioning that education system. I'm telling you, there's a lot of things. And I don't want to downplay education, of course, because there's a certain analytical point of view. You have to have a certain mindset to be able to process things. But at the end of the day, a lot of things that we've been taught, I tell you, don't even pertain to the real world.
The problem is this. Now you won biology because you want to be a doctor.
Right.
And to get in, you need an 85 average. And I can't do it for you. And you come in and all you have is a 70. And I got to tell you, I'm sorry, I can't put you in the program. I said, you're going to have to do liberal arts, take some courses in this, bring up your GPA, come back and see me in December. You know, see me for the spring semester, and maybe I could do something for you. Oh, but isn't there something you could do? No, I can't. You know, you have to have some sort of criteria.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that they can't do it.
Right, because that's what we're talking about. There needs to be a restructuring because there's a lot of children that are extremely talented that don't take tests well.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. How does a kid that does Algebra 2 and Trig in high school with a 92 average takes the Regents and gets a 47? There's something there. That may be stressful. Something happened at home. You never know. But
that sounds like another show for the boat ride.
Oh.
We're actually going to be doing higher education next Saturday here at Body Shop
wow,
TV.
Look at that. We came on the wrong day.
I want to thank you gentlemen again for coming on our show and talking about your experience being a father and especially talking about your organization that
awesome.
I totally embrace. And for the boat ride, quickly give us a phone number to get tickets.
631-786-5112, Ed Roldan.
And the boat ride...
631-786-5112.
Where was this guy? We had the TV show. Radio show.
And the boat ride is Saturday, July 12th.
Saturday, July the 12th. We board 6:30.
What if it's raining? Is it still okay?
It's enclosed.
It's enclosed or open.
Yeah?
Yes.
And it's 7 to 4. At 7 to 11, everything is included in the $75.
Are you going to be there?
I'm the organizer, of course.
Just checking, man.
And they're going to be co-sponsors.
I don't know.
You're going to be a sponsor. And Derek,
you are.
contact to get to your organization?
You can go to realdadsnetwork.org or you can call us at 212-875-7725.
So I want to give my daughter's father a Father's Day gift. He was out of the family when she was about 10 years old. We recently learned about 2 years ago that he has stage 4 prostate cancer. He's about over $100,000 arrears in child support. So
hold on, let me look at that again.
Between my daughter and I, we discussed this. We want to give you, I'm putting you on blast, Dennis Terry Adams. I'm going to child support office on Monday, and I'm going to rescind my court order so that you can now travel outside of the state of Ohio. So happy Father's Day. Again, gentlemen, I want to wish you an awesome, happy Father's Day. Thank you again for being on our show.
My pleasure.
We really enjoyed your energy.
It was awesome.
And next week, Body Mechanic, we're going to be talking about...
I enjoyed my guest very much. Love that organization.
We're going to be talking about higher education. If you want to be a guest on our show next Saturday...
Well, I have no education, so...
Give us a call. Look us up on bodyshopenterprises.com. Have an awesome week. Love hard and kiss long.
And eat lots of honey and drink lots of water.
Have a great week.
Ciao, ciao.